What's up, everybody? Trinity here. Welcome back to Second Street. I hope you're all having a very good day today. We're going to talk about Eternals. This is the Eternals live stream. Now, I just dropped a video here on the channel, and it was set to redirect you here right after the stream. Chances are, maybe it did do it, maybe it didn't. There, might not be a whole lot of people showing up for the stream, and that's okay. That's okay. I don't really have a whole lot of time to go here in the morning anyway, as excuse me, as I've got to get ready to go in for a doctor's appointment here in about 1 hour. So I guess that might not be such a bad thing. Again, I don't know how it works. Like I said, I just dropped the premiere of my Marvel Studios Eternals reaction and review, and I gotta say, man, like if you didn't catch the review, I thought the movie was actually pretty dang good. It wasn't your typical, not your typical Marvel formula movie, and I think it was good for that. Definitely, Chloe Zhao came in, did a really good job with stuff. Over 2.5 hours long. For me, I didn't really feel the length of the film. I didn't feel it dragging along or anything like that. But we are definitely going to be getting into spoilers in this discussion. If you want, well, you know what? Even the review had a bunch of spoilers in it too. But I want to talk just about some of the different things going on in this film. Kind of how one of the things I said in the review is that this movie really just seemed to kind of serve the MCU as a whole. Thinking about future films and things like that, it doesn't really seem like this film served itself. And I think it kind of suffers for that. Though for somebody like me, it really did a lot of great things. And like I said, setting up things for future films, setting up this bigger cosmic universe that we're going to be opening up here in future films, and kind of what we're all dealing with here. Because I really felt like one of the things here is they got a villain in this film. They've actually got a couple of villains in this film. You've got like the Celestials, you've got the Deviants, and you've got Icarus, and they're all like, you got like 3 different antagonists in this film, and it's like, oh, and are the Celestials even really antagonists? It's really hard to say. Like, I'm telling you, it's like kind of mixed, a little jumbled in some of those senses, in that sort of a sense, because like I said, it feels like this movie's doing so much and it serves the MCU as a whole, not itself, not the film itself. Stories by Iris, thank you so much for being here. How are you doing? Haven't seen the premiere, but I saw this, so I came here. All good. Thank you very much, Irish. I appreciate you being here. Yeah, I dropped the premiere and then going right into this live stream. And again, like I started the live stream and then I put it unlisted, because the thing is, like, YouTube with the notifications and stuff like that, it's not very good with a lot of that stuff. But yeah, so I kind of did it where, like, it's a notification thing, I mean, maybe somebody will come back here and watch this video and really be into it. I don't know. Quentin Time Podcast, how are you doing? I love it just for the lore. Yeah, absolutely. Is Quentin Lee? Is that you, man? I hope you're having a very good day. Yeah, I thought the movie was very good for doing that. The movie wasn't good at, like I said, we kind of, like, there was a lot of characters for what for the most part. And the thing is, like, I thought they did a pretty good balance of kind of showing us and introducing all of these characters in the film. I think they did a pretty good job of doing that and keeping the pacing going along with that. At no time during this movie did I feel bored myself. If anything, I was sitting there really kind of paying attention to everything that's kind of going on here, because this movie really did drop a lot of just kind of lore stuff for the future of the MCU. And the thing is, it's not necessarily for the future, because it's the past, right? But the thing is, like, if you really pay attention to what's going on here, it's for the future. It's really for the future too. That's the funny thing here in dealing with some of that stuff. but I think for what it did for the MCU as a whole, the larger overall, man, it really did some cool stuff. Now, like at the very end, well, like I said, this is full spoilers. What they did there at the end with and at the it's what would that be, like the mid credits? It wasn't even really mid credits. It was kind of like just the post beginning of the credit. Okay, we'll give it the mid credit. But anyway, what they did there, bringing Star Fox in like that, dude, I was like, bro, like that's crazy. That's just like crazy shit they did, like putting that in there, like. I don't know, and I don't even really know Harry Styles. I can't say I've really seen him in anything before, but like he seemed like he kind of had this swagger to him too. I'm like, this is going to be cool. This is going to be great. Whatever they're getting ready to go on and do here. I'm not really familiar with that character. I'm not really too familiar with Pip the Troll either. Although reading through like Infinity Gauntlet and then Infinity Watch right after that, I kind of know the character a little bit in that sense. But knowing that they're bringing in, they revealed Pip and Star Fox in here. I mean, I'm telling you, like Feige is getting ready to open up the full box of goodies, man. That's like that's the feeling this really gave me after watching this film. Because again, it's a different Marvel film. A lot of people aren't going to like this one. A lot of people aren't going to like it. You know what? And there might be some people who really do enjoy this one. I feel like it's like I was saying before, is this next phase, the phase we're in right now of the MCU, is kind of the second floor of Marvel Studios. They built the foundations, they erected the first floor with the first three phases, and now they're having to go through and build on top of those, and they're basically kind of starting over again on the next floor and having to do all these things to set everything up. And I think that's what this film suffers for, is just kind of doing serving more of that, more so than just um, the film itself. But it did so many cool things. All that shit with the Celestials was absolutely great. The thing with the Deviants was very interesting because ultimately what they did there. I mean, they're kind of setting up this whole. It almost feels like the whole mutants and humanity thing, right? While they're like some of that kind of the natural evolution of stuff, but also it was crazy too with the Eternals, because they're basically these robots, these people that look like humans, but they're basically like robots, right? And they were created by the Celestials. And so were the Deviants. But the Deviants, like I was saying in the review, the Deviants are like Ultron, right? The Deviants are like Ultron, like they got that, like, oh, like, and that's why they created the Eternals. And it's like because the Deviants went crazy, they started eating and absorbing the intelligence of other races and things, and they kind of basically started to rebel back, and that's why they create like all that stuff. I'm like, that's Ultron, isn't it? Again, recurring themes going on here in the MCU. The other recurring theme that's going to be kind of a thing going on here as well was the whole thing with the Celestials in the first place. The fact that the Earth, and they were seeding these planets with celestial seed, basically impregnating them, and that's how they're growing these the Celestials. If you think about it, that's kind of like I was feeling like it's not a Big Bang, but it's almost like a star burning out, right? Becoming a black hole, a singularity, essentially. That's what we're talking about here, folks. And the interesting thing is, like, if you read John, and I was talking about that towards the end of my review, talking about Jonathan Hickman's House of X and Powers of X, he really covers a lot of those kinds of things, like singularities and the different types of society within all of these things. And it really made me feel a lot about that, because essentially, while the Eternals here are fighting with the Deviants, they're both actually kind of after the same thing: survival. And that's one of the things they brought up at the beginning of the movie too, talking about apex predators, right? I feel like it's like the Star Wars. They even had the Star Wars book in there. It's like I feel like Qui-Gon is in there, like there's always a bigger fish, right? Like, again, like, there's very much lore building and stuff going on for the MCU, but like, I don't really feel like this film served itself. It served the story, larger story as a whole. But I gotta tell you, man, that shit there at the end, that celestial being born out of the fucking earth, dude, like, that was fucking mind blowing, bro. Like I said in my review, like, that kind of shit, like really scary. Like, could you imagine walking out of your fucking house right now and seeing this huge fucking celestial, like seeing this big old fucking being just hovering over the whole fucking horizon, out in space and shit. Well, that's essentially what was being born out of the planet. Could you imagine, like, even not on that scale, just imagine that, like, you step out and you just see, like, you know what I'm saying? Just like, dude, that's fucking crazy. It's fucking crazy. Just that large, grand scale, and it's something we haven't really seen in the MCU proper quite yet. Because like this shit right here is like setting up like for when we see Galactus, right? For when Galactus comes along. Like, come on, like that is setting something like that up for the World Eater to come. Like, dude, tell me that's not. But it's so freaking great. Just like it was so great seeing that. It was so great seeing that. And then I like the fact that it was there and then it happened and then the being remained. Right? You seen the news reports about it. There on WHIH Europe. There with it, like, dude, like fucking cool, dude. Fucking cool. Are they not gonna undo that? So is the world in the MCU from now on just gonna always have this celestial being sticking out of it? I'm telling you, for some of the things this movie did absolutely great. There are a lot of things in this movie that it does kind of falter for, and it doesn't make it a terrible movie. It just makes it not as great of a movie as it could be. Well, let's see. I see. $15 super chat from my man Lucas Texvenger says, "Hey Trinity, just want to stop by and show some support. Got to get back to work. Catch us on the replay. Have a great weekend. You as well, my friend. Thank you so much for being here, my man." And Immortal Myrtle Maniac, Lucas Texvenger, getting ready to go make sure that your Chili's experience is the best that it can be. I might have to go visit one of these days. I'm gonna go visit Texas, and you got to tell me where you're at. We're gonna go visit one of your stores. We're gonna go visit one of your stores, man. We're gonna do that. We're gonna do that. I'm dreaming. I'm dreaming. I'm dreaming about taking a vacation. I'm self-employed, man. You're self-employed, like vacation what? Or depending on like kind of business you got, you might be like vacation time always. I don't know. But thank you so much for being here. Again, sorry everybody, I'm nerding out here. I see we've got Stories by Irish Lonely Banter in the building, my man. I caught some of your review last night, LB. I gotta finish watching it. We got SSJ K Dot. What is up, my man? How are you doing? Perry Comics in the building. I hope you're all having very good morning. Iris says, "Yeah, I didn't see a notification, but live streams are usually at the top of my videos." Yeah, on the app. Yeah, absolutely. Yep. Yeah, it was. Quentin says it was a lot of universe building of the past to move forward in the future. Yeah, absolutely. I plan on seeing Eternals eventually, but I'm obsessed with lore and world building, so I will probably enjoy it if they pulled those off well. I think they did. You know what? That's what they pulled off well, because as I was saying in my review, like a lot of the action and stuff that happened in this movie seemed just didn't seem well choreographed or anything like that. It just seemed very. You can tell that Chloe Zhao probably isn't used to directing action. What other movie were we talking about not too long ago that I was saying the exact same thing? Where it was the exact. And I want to say it was another Marvel movie, but I was like, the action don't seem. And no, it wasn't Black Widow, because that one was actually pretty decent on the action. But like filming action scenes. God, what was it? What was it? I don't remember. I don't know. Was it Falcon and Winter Soldier? But anyway, But yeah, I think for the world building and stuff that it did here, it did really good with a lot of that stuff. Again, just kind of opening up the book a little bit more. I mean, they kind of did some of that in like the Guardians movies and kind of the Infinity War a little bit. They kind of opening up the book of the cosmic universe and everything going out there. This one's really starting to open that up. Really starting to open that up. About to watch this in 2 hours. All right. You haven't watched it yet? Good deal. Like I said, I thought it was pretty good. I do understand why. I do understand why some people wouldn't like it for some of the things going on in the movie. I get why like a film critics wouldn't like some of the things but like there are plenty of things in this movie that I think a film critic would like as well. But yeah, there's a lot of things that it kind of suffers from. As well. Basically, like a game made of 3 groups of people: Eternals, Deviants, and Celestials. That's set up for the next phase of the MCU. I mean, I guess essentially so. I mean, that's kind of what they set up here. I mean, Thanos is a deviant. Well, here's where we get into it as well. I believe he's what is it? He's like a whatever they call him with the deviant gene and whatnot. It's not a celestial. I think it is a celestial. With this deviant gene, and like that's why he looks different from his brother Star Fox, who's actually in this movie. But yeah, I mean, I guess it does kind of set up these kind of 3 different, I guess essentially races of people, if you will, the 3 different kind of beings and what they're going to be at odds. But more so, not even just for their future films separately, just like for the MCU as a whole. But I really do feel like that's what's been going on here anyway over these TV shows and these last couple of movies. Is I really feel like they're setting up several different how would you say villains, several other bigger villains for the future of the MCU here overall, where like we see what they did in Loki with Jonathan Majors' character in who is essentially Kang the Conqueror, or Immortus, if you will, who he would be more of the earthbound kind of thing. Like he affects things a bit on a larger scale, but he's more kind of an earthbound type of character, dealing with a lot of like the humans and everything here on Earth, and especially in like the stuff that I've read in particularly, with like the Scarlet Witch, where he was using her and harnessing her to kind of try to keep certain timelines all the same, but for the timekeepers. But like I feel like they're setting up different villains here, where you got like Kang doing that. I feel like also what they've also showed us here, even especially like through the What If, but I believe that the same thing was kind of displayed in Shang-Chi with these Lovecraftian type of characters, with like Cthulhu and Cthulhu and just all these different tentacled beasts. If you think about it, if I'm not mistaken, aren't like werewolves and shit, aren't those like kind of Lovecraftian type beasts as well? I mean, that's kind of what we're getting here, and I feel like that's where they're going to, because we've also got more mention of vampires in here as well in this movie. So they're really doing so much lately to set all of this stuff up, and I feel like they're setting up more villains here overall. And that's kind of what I feel like that's what all the shows so far have kind of served the purpose of here, in this kind of bridge between the movies and even for the future of the MCU here, is that just kind of building and expanding out on what we've already had, while doing things to introduce these new characters and these new villains, to bring in these new characters, presenting these bigger threats that they're going to need some more of these characters to bring in for these films. But yeah, Unicron gave birth. Unicron. What's Unicron? Yeah. The Earth. Yeah. That's what I was saying when I was. when we were sitting there at the theater and the Celestial was being born out of the earth and his head started coming up, I was like, oh, he's crowning. I know, I'm terrible. I'm terrible. Again, Lucas Texvenger, my man, thank you so much for that $15 super chat. Thank you so much. Okay. Let's see. They sure loved name dropping Thanos. Yeah, well, I mean, because he's he's isn't he like what are they called? What are they called? Not the Celestials. What are they? Yeah. Anyway, um, yeah, they did do a lot of that, and like there was some stuff. No, werewolves and vampires were way before Lovecraft. Okay, all right. But did Lovecraft use some of the like the werewolf kind of stuff? I don't know. All right. But either way, this kind of intermingling of beasts and stuff, and humans, kind of, Anyway, I feel like you're gonna come back. I'm sure Thanos will return. I'm sure Thanos will be back. Probably not in like some sort of big way where maybe he's necessarily the overall threat like he was so far. I don't think he'll be like that, but um now the other cool thing that I thought here, like I said, this movie didn't seem like it really served itself. It didn't really seem like it served itself, and it suffers for it. But again, I think this movie is so good just for a lot of the lore building that it did do. Because getting into like the Celestials and how they're born and everything, I think that's very interesting as well. Irish reference went way over his head. Which one? Which? Oh, Unicron Transformers reference. Oh, okay. All right. All right. Yeah, I haven't watched the Transformers movies in a while. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, you got it. Yeah, because like I think especially like those new movies. Like when I was a kid, I watched the Transformers and all that shit. But like those new movies after that first one they did, I didn't watch any of them. I didn't watch any of them. So yeah, you. Oh yeah, yeah, you definitely got me there. You definitely got me there. Oh man. But yeah, I think Thanos gonna come back. Probably not in like a huge major way, but again, the celestial birth thing I think was very interesting because, like I was saying before, it brings me kind of back to what Jonathan Hickman did when he started this new sort of story arc over in Marvel Comics recently with the X-Men, and what he did with Moira McTaggart. But really, like what's going on here, what he kind of started describing isn't necessarily have to do with the X-Men and Moira McTaggart so much as her and the X-Men trying to find a way to deal with the situation overall. But what they are talking about there is what he does is he breaks down these types of societies and just like all of these different kind of cosmic beings, if you will, and breaks it on down kind of everybody's role in this cosmic universe, this overall. And he talks about singularities, which goes into these different types of things and how they're all kind of interconnected, and how the tendrils of time and everything, how they're all kind of interconnected. And what you see is like kind of everybody is serving this hive mind overall, and everybody kind of ascends to different levels. Like what essentially happened with was going on in the X-Men was the humans dealing with Homo superior, the mutants, and how the mutants were basically the next step of evolution, And so the X-Men were going to basically rule over everybody. They were going to take over the Earth, and that's how it is, just because they were superior to human beings. And so it goes on into that. But what happens is then the humans begin to upgrade themselves, which ultimately comes into super soldiers, and then eventually into technology, upgrading their bodies with technology, and then eventually creating AI. And then not just only artificial intelligence, but then going beyond that, basically like Ultron and everything, just starting to think for itself and starting to go on, and they just like basically everybody kind of one-upping themselves in society until they graduate onto the next level. And what we've seen eventually was that humans actually had ascended to a certain point where they actually even became superior to mutants. But at that point they were no longer human, and we seen what they were trying to do is go to ascend into the next type of society, which was eventually they were just showing basically this collection of intelligences, this collection of minds and intelligence that gets them to ascend to the next level. And how that basically is basically all it has to do with is outsmarting the next guy, becoming that bigger fish. And that's what it really all ultimately deals with, because one of the things we seen was where the humans ended up, God, because what was it? There was what's his name? Oh man, why all of a sudden am I forgetting forgetting his name? The damn. The big super intelligent android guy that man in the recent well, he's not even new. He's not even a new character in the books. But man, all of a sudden I'm forgetting his name. Aglax is here. He probably knows his name. Man, why all of a sudden I'm forgetting his name? But basically, he was the leader of all these androids, these robots that eventually took over, and they were looking to ascend as well. You know, like he thinks he's a superior being and can't be beat. He's already beat humans who have basically already went beyond themselves and went beyond mutants. And like I said, they're all basically trying to one up each other. Well, what they eventually did was the humans realizing on the larger scale of things to ascend to the next level, because they didn't realize that they were going to die. They didn't want to die. They wanted to live. So basically they had to become the bigger fish. So what they did was to outsmart this intelligence. They went through and they put all their collective minds in basically a digital form and put them inside of basically this ball that just grew and grew and grew in intelligence and everything like that. And it would get more, just this collective hive mind. And they basically had it all electronic, and they had that get absorbed by these phalanxes. That's what it was, the phalanx. The phalanx came and absorbed this larger society to see if they could become one of them. They basically outsmarted the phalanx here to basically ascend, so they could so they wouldn't die, so they could become part of basically ascend to be that. But what they didn't realize was that basically that means that they're going to suck up and what it was, they had to destroy whatever this, like, it was going to be sucked up. This larger intelligence was going to be sucked up into the singularity and overall, and kind of be parting the all-knowing intelligence here. And they did that with this electronic brain because they didn't want to die, because that's how normally it would absorb it, is through basically electronic, because it had to deal with electronic. It didn't deal in human beings per se, but the intelligence was all electronic. And so that's how they did it. So they thought by doing this, giving them basically the collection of their intelligence, that they would be all good. Well, what happened was the Failings came and said, yeah, fuck that. We're eating your ass anyway. Like, you might have been smart and you're going to become part of the collective. You're going to ascend and everything. Well, we're still eating your ass. But basically, a lot of that came through like cloning and stuff like it gets into like some really kind of really big world kind of big brain shit, but it's not that big brained if you sit down and really read and digest what's going on. He broke it on down in these different white pages in the House of X and Powers of X, where he's talking about types of society. I actually did a video talking a lot about these before as well, and maybe I should go through and do a video talking a little bit more about these in the future. Yeah, Nimrod. There we go, Nimrod. God dang, why couldn't I think of Nimrod? Why couldn't I think of Nimrod? Yeah. And the master molds, yeah, that we're making them. Yeah. Yeah. Crazy stuff. But I feel like that's exactly what's going on here in the MCU. What was done in the Eternals movie was all of this, like, that's kind of what they're setting up here in the Eternals movie. It was exactly that, is trying to one up the next one, trying to be that apex predator. So basically for survival. And just like I don't know, man. Like this movie is good and crazy on that grand scale for that reasons. What they did here with it was the Celestials. Ultimately, it didn't really have to do with the Eternals at all. Like because ultimately we find out they're just robots and they're just here trying to basically farm the planets to get human energy so they can grow this celestial. So yeah, like very cool stuff. Very cool stuff. Bram Stoker made Dracula based off stories before his time. Vlad the Impaler, Countess of Batharo. Okay. You just said when the celestial was born, we have all been officially spoiled. Anyone complaining sounds like a kid on his birthday. The bouncy castle was supposed to be red, not blue. Oh yeah. This is full spoilers. This is full spoilers, man. Yeah. This is full spoilers, man. This is full spoilers. Do I need to put Do I need to put that really big on the screen there for you? Do I need to put it big on the screen there for you? I can. Here, look. We can do that. Look, we'll do this. We're gonna do this. Okay, we're gonna do this live on air, ladies and gentlemen. Live on air. We're gonna do this. Okay, we're gonna do this. We're gonna call it. We're gonna call it spoilers. Oh yeah, I put spoilers. Okay, spoilers. Okay. All right. Okay, here we go. Look, we've got this. I'm doing this for you. Doing this for you, Aglax. Here. Let's get this. There we go. Let's see. What can we do here? That one? Yeah, there we go. That works. Does that work? I don't know. Oh, dang it. All right, here we go. Might have this done. Oh, come on, man. Come on, man. Let's see. There we go. Yeah. Yeah. All right. Now we'll take this. We're gonna go over here. We're gonna flip this over here and put it right there. There we go. That now this should look for you. There you go. Bam! Spoilers! You've now been spoiled. Okay, there we go. Is that better? Does that make everybody feel better? Oh, weird. Okay, where we at? Where we at here? What's aggressively relaxing giving me a hard time about now? Um, yeah, Nimrod. Yeah, Master Bolt. I think the end game. I still think the end game of Hickman's run is to show that Hive Mind has stole Moira's body and power. Which Hive Mind? Which one? Like who is Hive Mind a particular character? Or like what? Well, there's like there's some interesting like there's something interesting going on there with Moira, right? Like considering what it is, but I like ultimately the thing is like with Hickman's what he set up, it's all good. Like and I've talked about this before, and you know we've gone back and forth about this. Is Hickman's House of X and Powers of X just perfectly sets up that they're gonna do all this whole thing, and then it's gonna end up with Moira dying the last time, and everything's gonna kind of go back to the status quo, if you will, or basically drop us right back into whatever story comes next. And it's going to be the X-Men as they've kind of always been. Like basically none of it will have ever happened, but it will have. It's just like what they did in WandaVision. Just like what they did in WandaVision. Because if you notice how WandaVision, the show started where she came into the town, it was all busted down, and she went up to the house, and you watch watch the car she pulled up in, watch what she's dressed in. She goes into the house, she does her freak out thing, and they all showed this in the same episode almost. And she goes, ah, and it all changes the town, it builds the house, and it does all of those things. And then at the very end, when she does and takes everything back, it starts right back over at that same point. Now, a lot, like all the stuff that was there still happened, but it's still kind of reset. And you can see the town was back exactly like it was before and when she got there. And it makes me feel like everything that happened probably rewound back to that point while it still happened. You know what I mean? While it still happened. Like, I think the repercussions of it all still happened, but it kind of all, because it all happened within a span of a couple of days, right? So that's kind of like the interesting thing here is it all happened within that time, but you know what I mean? Yeah, I don't know. But yeah, and that's the thing is like I feel like that's what's ultimately going to happen with the Hickman X-Men stuff. But there's so much they get to do in the meantime because of that. But so, like the thing is what Hickman set up there with showing the types of society and everything. It's so cyberpunk and everything, right? It's so cyberpunk, but it also still kind of seems very scientific based, and that's what they're going on. And if you like thinking about the timing of when they would have been making this movie, thinking about that, and just kind of what Hickman was doing too, thinking about what they want to do with all this stuff. I mean, it kind of really just makes sense with a lot of that. Did you catch the Disney Plus plug? Which I don't know which one, which Disney Plus plug. I mean, I definitely seen the Star Wars book there, but no, like which Disney Plus plug was it? Which one? What was it? I don't know. I don't know. Maybe I did. Maybe. Um. But yeah, that could be true. Maybe the hive mind did steal Moira's body and power. That could be. That could be. But yeah, again, that's like I said, they're just doing. Again, this movie just set up so, and that's what the cool thing I liked about it was the Celestials and knowing how that they're born and knowing what they're doing, knowing that they're basically preying on other planets. Now the thing is, like they seeded these planets with these Celestials, but like did they create the planets too? Like I'm forgetting that part of it. But so basically, it seemed like they just did what Ego did, right? Larger scale or in a different scale or oh little g. They're big G, right? Or they're C. They're celestial. Yeah. When they mentioned DVDs. Oh no, I don't. You know what? I didn't hear him say that, but I do remember she said where she said DVDs. What's it? Or what Camille Nanjiani said, what's a DVD or something like he was like DVD. No, I missed that. I must not have been paying attention there. Skip and Tosh, my man, thank you so much for being here. I hope you're having a very good day. Just here talking about and spoiling the Eternals. The Eternals. But I mean, and again, like I think for all the stuff that it did, that's a lot of like I said, this movie it's like a big old info dump of stuff for lore for the MCU, and I don't think it was. I think it was a good movie. I really do think it was a good movie, but like this movie didn't serve itself. These characters as well, especially because I mean, I think maybe they might know that too. These characters aren't human. Yet you see them kind of going through emotions. They're basically robots. How do you feel like you can't like the emotional attachment there, like especially because so much of it was deceptive too, like like I was saying in the review, like with Cersei and Icarus, like there's kind of that deceptive love, like you can see like I said, he was very daytime drama about it. I didn't buy his emotion at all. I'm just kind of like, this doesn't really feel like like gaslighting. Like that's what it felt. I just feel like he just kind of like going through the motions and everything, and it wasn't believable. But then you think like most of it wasn't believable. I think the most kind of believable kind of emotion between any of the characters here was more so between Gilgamesh and Thena. Like that really seemed like there really seemed like there was some connection there, like with those characters. Like you could tell like the real, I don't know, like I really felt like there was a big time love connection there between those two characters, more so than any other characters in this movie. Like I said, this movie definitely suffers from some stuff, but like the film itself I thought was just so damn good. Definitely not the Marvel formula. And I think that's what a lot of people are going to like it for. And I think it does probably kind of suffer for that as well, for a lot of those things. But yeah, I missed the plug for the Disney Plus thing there. I'm gonna have to go see it again. My kids went, and my son, he fell asleep. I knew it was gonna happen anyway because it was kind of late at night. He fell asleep at some point for a little while. But my daughters, they watched it. They liked the movie, and I asked them later, like a lot of times they have some stuff to kind of pick out, but I asked them like what their favorite character is and what their favorite part of the movie was. And it was funny too this time because they were like their favorite character. They were like, well, I like they liked Kingo, like his kind of attitude and like how he was just kind of funny and silly. They kind of like that, but God, what was it they said for Powers? I can't remember who it was they said for Powers. Oh, I think they said Sprite for Powers. Just like the illusion casting and all that kinds of stuff. So, yeah, very interesting. That was what my oldest daughter said. As far as those kinds of things, and again, like favorite part of the movie, they didn't really have a favorite part of the movie. Yeah. Maybe Ego was copying them, but the Celestials were part of creating worlds and life too. Yeah, and that was the interesting thing. Oh, okay, yeah, because what was that they had like that? What was it? The World Forge? Is that where they were creating like the worlds and doing all that? Like they got into some crazy shit, and I think some of it also. Some of what's going on here had to do with Shang. Like, is it just me that had to do with Shang-Chi and the Ten Rings too, right? Did that not kind of explain some of that stuff? Was that kind of not what was going on there with the? And also the use of technology, the thing that they had going on with what's his name, Fastos, and how he's kind of like the engineer of the world, right? And he sits there and he's creating stuff. They did the Hiroshima thing, and they just did all that kind of stuff. Like he's the one giving us, and just like their whole thing, like they get the whole hippie thing going on too with the what's his name. You're like, oh, these people can't be fighting each other. We gotta stop them. We gotta stop them. We can't leave them to their own devices. But they were also talking about, but leaving people to their own devices, what kind of makes them advance, right? And again, that's what they were talking about with the Apex Predator thing. That's what I'm talking about with the Celestials thing. That's why I'm bringing up the whole thing with the Jonathan Hickman stuff and the types of societies, is because it's basically always somebody trying to one up the other society, the other person who's superior to them, trying to one up themselves, mostly, usually, typically in for survival, right? Survival of the fittest. We want to survive. So you got to try to be bigger than, and let the next person know that they're not a threat to you. You know, you got to become that apex predator. They did, so like I said, they did a lot of great stuff in this film. It's just this film doesn't serve itself so much. Dang it. Oh yeah, Disney Plus. Yeah. So, yeah. Okay. Yeah. All right. Yeah. I see what you're saying. Yeah. When you're just talking about streaming, like streaming. Yeah. Yeah, maybe Eagle was copying them. That is true, and that was like I said, the whole technology thing. And I was talking about that the day before as well. Where yesterday we was talking about, like, you know, like the magic and science. There, Mike Shill Porter was in here. He dropped the quote from Thor. Well, where I come from, they're one and the same, and that's ultimately it. Science fiction becoming science fact. But a lot of that just through the fact that people get to be dreaming. You know, you start dreaming of bigger things and things that could happen. You know what I mean? Like, you know what's funny? Like, I mean, you just kind of dream these things and you think them up and you can make them happen. Your thoughts are a powerful thing, and I believe that you can actually do this in your real life. Is think things into existence. I believe we actually really do think things into existence. I really do believe that we do that. But just kind of that with, talking about the technology and everything that they're having, that they're using to go and create and do ascend to these bigger levels and stuff like that. Just like I said, a lot of cool stuff going on here. Let's see. Yeah, Cersei was a little stone-like with her personality and portrayal of the character. Kingo, Athena, Gil, and Superman dude here and there. Yeah. But again, like, the thing with Cersei, I kind of feel like she was that way because I feel like to me, she felt like somebody, like, by the time you get to the end of it, she feels like somebody who had been abused. Because emotionally, she's kind of like, I don't know how to feel. Like, you see, she's there with Dane Whitman. She's kind of into him and everything. And then he comes back along and say, like, because the way she's been treated. So she's kind of like on guard. You know what I mean? Like, and that's why I feel that way. Because, like, if you think about it, I feel that's why Superman. I feel that's why his acting was that way too, because he knew he was lying. He wasn't genuine with any of it. Where you could tell between like Gilgamesh and Athena, it was like you could like I felt like are they humping? Like, I don't know, man. Like, I feel like maybe sometimes like she starts going crazy and he's like, hey, you know what? It's time to. Anyway, I know. It's okay, but. I felt that connection more so than a lot of the others for sure. Did your kids talk about representation with you after the movie? No. And I'm telling you, man, like leading up to the leading up to the sex scene and everything, anyway, it seemed very formulaic and kind of, like I said in the review, like, I don't think we needed the sex scene. I don't really feel like it needed this sex scene. I don't think we needed that. And maybe it serves that overall purpose too, where Cersei feels betrayed. She feels like she's been like maybe that's why she wanted to do all that stuff, because she's really been kind of deceived by this guy that she feels like in love with, and he's just like, I'm gonna hit it and quit it because I know I'm lying to you, bitch. So like I said, there could be some real layers to that, and if this is like if Chloe Zhao is as good as they say, maybe that's really what a lot of this has to do with. But yeah, I mean, yeah. The other thing too, like when the kiss came, the kiss, like I was sitting there, like I was like, man, I kind of feel like that kiss. It felt just as uncomfortable for the actors as it probably did for some of the people in the audience, and even like it seemed very uncomfortable. I'm like, I kind of felt like, did these people want to do this? Did they want to? Did they not want to do the thing on the like? Because I feel it felt forced. It felt forced. It felt like they were putting the two actors on the screen and going, "You get in there, kiss him, you motherfucker." Anyway, I don't know. That's just me. That's just me. That's just me. It felt forced. It didn't feel genuine. If they would have not put that in there, I would have understood that these two dudes loved each other. I would have. I would have, because plenty of other things they did, even in the film surrounding that, gave you that feeling. Before the kiss, after the kiss. Again, just like the humping, didn't really need to happen. It's no big deal to me. I don't really give a shit, but yeah. It felt very uncomfortable. I'm telling you, them actors felt very uncomfortable to me. It felt like they were putting them together. It was like, kiss, motherfucker! Anyway, sorry. Aglax says, the criticisms this movie is getting reminds me of Ultron or The Last Jedi, which boils down to, I'm mad, this is part of a larger story. Well, that's the story of the Disney Plus shows right there. That's the story of the Disney Plus shows right there too. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and I do think that, but I think that's ultimately like the end of the story, like the end of the movie. It's kind of like really not like it's really kind of falls off a lot there. And again, that's some of the action there, kind of doing that. The action was a little mediocre, and then like some of the stuff that happened, like what basically happens is it makes it feel like some of the stuff in the movie didn't need to happen at all. Like it could have been wrapped up a little bit better there at the end. But yeah. The larger part of the story thing, definitely. Oh, well, that said, I didn't come off as part of any story. Yeah. Hyperbole by Irish. Sorry, I still get eyeball twitching over. That's funny. Skip and Tosh says, I like the gold essence design that showed when they used their powers. Yeah, that was pretty cool. And you know what was very cool too? It was like it was very kind of like Doctor Strange did with that whole with his powers. Like how they kind of conjure their weapons and stuff like that. I thought that was very cool as well. A kind of gold essence, and then and again, they showed like the hive mind thing too, in that like I'm telling you, like I've got to do a video. I've got to do a video talking about this. I've got to do a video talking about maybe getting back into that Hickman thing, breaking those pages out and talking about some of that stuff, because it gives me those vibes all over again. Types of societies, man. Types of societies. I thought the sex scene didn't add to the movie. Yeah, it didn't add to the movie. Like they could have cut it out. Just and I know some people probably feel the same way about Tony Stark. Tony Stark, he was humping Christine Everhart, but that kind of played into who he was. Could they have shown us that just by saying it? No, I mean, and really they showed us. Okay, I mean the two flings. I guess the one in part one, and then number 3, right? When the doctor. But yeah. Again, like I don't feel that it needed it. I'm not upset about any of it either. It's just like, again, some of these things you just don't need in the film, but it just kind of all depends, Let's see. He told her to Yeah, he told her to relax. She wasn't having it. Yeah. 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 LB says when the sex scene happened, I know that scene later in the movie with Black Eternal was coming. Both cringe. With what do you mean? When the sex scene happened, I know the scene later in the movie with Black Eternal was coming. Both cringe. Yeah. I know you. Yeah. Again, like the sex scene didn't seem forced, but it really didn't seem like it needed to be there. And also, even seeing what's his name, like going through all those scenes, like I just want to hang out with this girl. I'm so in love with her. Like he seemed very stiff. He didn't seem like he seemed like he loved her, but he seemed like he's like, I don't know how to act. My acting is messing up, Saga. Never mind if it's fucking Clerks 2 reference, but yeah. The but with the black. Oh, are you talking about the Fastos kiss? Is that the one you're talking? I know you're not. No, you're not talking about Dane Whitman. You probably don't even know who the fuck the Black Knight is, do you? The Black Knight. That was the Dane Whitman thing with the family thing, the sword at the end. What's the necro sword? Oh my! Is that the fucking necro? Was that the necro sword? I don't know. Was it? Is it? I'm pretty sure it fucking is, man. Like, dude, that shit was fucking sick. Oh man, that was sick. Anyway, yeah, they were both pretty cringy. Yeah, with how many meaningless heterosexual scenes have been in movies, I'm all for meaningless sex scene for fair representation. It's only fair. Yeah, like I said, I don't really have any problem with it. It's just like, and again, if it serves the movie and it should be there, that's fine. But like, did it? It didn't. It didn't. The kiss, like I said, I understood those dudes loved each other before the kiss happened. The Cersei Icarus thing, I could understand that they loved each other, or at least she loved him, and he was really just kind of felt bad for deceiving her the whole time because he knew that yeah. Anyway, all that whole thing. I mean, and it was that way from the get go, though. It was that way from the get go. When they first kind of birthed and on the ship, and they came out and they're looking at the Earth, and he's like, "Oh, he already had his boner for him." She's like, "Hey, like, yeah, um, yeah." The non-lead actor dude felt more natural. The non-lead actor dude felt more natural than Fastos in their relationship. Yeah. Man, and I know I seen that dude in something else too. That kiss worked at all for anyone. It's because Fasto's husband made it work. The family scenes were enough. Yeah, the family scenes were enough. I really thought the family scenes were more than enough. The kiss didn't need to have like everything else. Like you could feel it again. You feel these kinds of things. You don't have to see somebody. You don't have to. I don't have to see somebody hump or even kiss or any of that kinds of stuff. But like Iris said, it's only fair. It's only fair. And again, I'm not upset about it. It's just didn't need it. Didn't need it. Guys, I'm gonna have to go in just a few minutes because I've got a doctor's appointment. They're getting ready to call me here in just a minute, and I gotta get ready for that. But let me get through these last couple chats, and then we'll bring the stream to an end. Bring the stream to an end here. I got a bill. Have a good one. All right, you have a good one too, Quentin. I guess I could take it or leave it. The sex scene was more cringy and forced. Yeah, the sex scene was more cringy and forced. Yeah, definitely. Tony Stark's sex scenes felt more additive to his overall character. Yeah, absolutely. The robot impression you did of him was hilarious. Yeah. It was it reminded me of God, what was it? Because on the in Clerks 2 when they were talking about Anakin Skywalker, like, my Anakin, my acting's messing up, Saga. Yeah, it's just funny. LB says, I don't know who those people was in the end credit scenes. Red Skull mentioned the first guy. Red Skull mentioned who? Pip the Troll? Or Star Fox? When did Red Skull mention him? I don't know. Maybe so. Yeah. But anyway, guys, that's all I've got for today. Thank you all so much for being here. Again, thank you to Lucas Texvenger for the very generous $15 super chat. Thank you so much to the Immortal Myrtle Maniacs, the channel members as well. Thank you, viewers, for being here as well. I know you guys have been watching those. I know you've been watching the ads that have been popping up. Thank you so much for watching those. It helps me get paid if you're not one of the channel members, which you don't have to be. Or you don't send any super chats, which you don't have to. Watching those ads is enough. Just watch every single one of them. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. But do it. Seriously. Thank you all so much for being here today. Again, if you're watching this on the replay, make sure you like this video. If you're watching right now, like the video. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. I want to know all your thoughts. I just kind of been rambling on here again for about the last hour. But you all have a good day, and we'll see you tonight on the Trailer Park Live. Later.